At any given moment, the human body is executing a cellular choreography involving 50 different hormones and microscopic timed signals. It is a level of biological coordination so high that it would take a supercomputer to simulate. We live in an era where humans have mapped distant galaxies and decoded the atom. Yet this internal system, responsible for the continuation of our species, holds secrets that still leave researchers stunned. For most of history, medical understanding of the female body was shaped by silence. Texts often dismissed female anatomy as a secondary variation of the male, even propagating the ancient theory that the uterus could literally wander around the body. That history has left a legacy of significant research gaps. Even with modern MRI machines and genetic sequencing, conditions like endometriosis and PCOS remain chronically underfunded compared to diseases that primarily affect men. This network serves as an active biological hub that influences nearly everything, including mood, energy, bone density, and how the brain processes memory. It is a dynamic architecture that reaches far beyond its role in pregnancy. The process begins in the lower abdomen, with two almond-shaped structures roughly the size of a grape. These are the ovaries. A baby is born with all the eggs she will ever have, roughly 1 to 2 million. By puberty, 300,000 remain. Only 4 to 500 will ever fully mature, while the rest undergo a natural retirement process called atresia. The ovaries also function as a powerful endocrine gland. They synthesize estrogen, progesterone, and small but critical amounts of testosterone, hormones that circulate through the bloodstream to regulate bone strength and brain function. At the moment of ovulation, the fallopian tube reaches out. Delicate finger-like projections called fimbriae actively sweep toward the ovary, creating a gentle current to guide the egg into the channel. Tiny synchronized cilia line the walls of the tube, rowing the egg slowly toward the uterus. This journey is where the most consequential event in biology occurs. If a sperm cell reaches the egg during this window, fertilization takes place right here inside the fallopian tube. The destination is the uterus, an organ driven by the myometrium, a muscle capable of expanding from pear-sized to the size of a watermelon. Each month, the interior lining, the endometrium, performs a complete biological renovation. It builds new blood vessels and glands from scratch, responding to hormonal signals with a level of precision that engineers would envy. During pregnancy, the uterus achieves a unique immunological truce. It creates the conditions for a genetically distinct organism to grow inside it without being rejected by the body's own immune defenses. This cycle is governed by precise signals. Rising estrogen levels trigger the pituitary gland to release a sudden, sharp spike in luteinizing hormone. This surge acts as the final trigger. Within 36 hours of the peak, the dominant follicle ruptures, releasing the egg. The menstrual cycle is an orchestrated whole-body event, coordinating multiple organs and glands through a silent, seamless conversation. The cervix acts as the gatekeeper of this system. Throughout most of the cycle, it produces a thick barrier, but during ovulation, it shifts to create fluid, microscopic channels. These paths filter and guide only the most viable sperm toward the egg. Below the cervix, the vagina maintains its own acidic ecosystem. Beneficial bacteria produce lactic acid to keep the environment more acidic than black coffee, creating a highly effective first-line defense against infection. All of these components are conducted by the invisible conductor, the endocrine system. Hormones work in concert with brain signals to orchestrate the process. Estrogen receptors are found throughout the body, where they maintain bone density and protect cardiovascular tissue. In the brain, these hormones modulate serotonin and dopamine, influencing cognitive function and memory, and regulating the nervous system. This system is woven into nearly every aspect of biology, shaping both the physical and mental identity of the person it inhabits. Despite what is found in textbooks, the science is still evolving. Researchers at Harvard have recently published evidence suggesting the existence of ovarian stem cells, which could challenge the long-held belief that the egg supply is fixed at birth. We are also discovering the phenomenon of fetal microchimerism, where cells from a fetus cross the placenta and embed in the mother's organs, persisting for decades after birth. These research gaps have real-world stakes. When our baseline understanding of anatomy is incomplete, patients suffer, evidenced by the 7 to 10 years many women must wait for an endometriosis diagnosis. This system relies on a sequence of autonomous, interlocking parts: a uterus that expands and regenerates, ovaries that manage a lifelong count, and a cervix that acts as a selective filter on a hormonal schedule. This process runs continuously in millions of bodies across the world, operating with a biological flexibility that outpaces most human engineering. Every human story begins here, inside one of the most remarkable and underestimated biological systems we have ever sought to understand.